What's up guys, Spartan85 here. You know, I was thinking we've already had some big releases in the survival genre this year. And I was just thinking, is there more to come for 2024? We've already had big releases like Enshrouded, Pacific Drive, Nightingale, Pal World. You can even throw Helldivers 2 in there if you want. All games that have been really successful and have already garnered a big fan base. But is there more to come in 2024 for the survival genre? I was really surprised to see that yes, there are a lot of games very close to release, to be announced, or maybe even coming in 2025 in the survival genre. And I really can't remember a time that we've had so many really good survival games release all at once, and we still have more to come. And maybe the survival genre is just peaking right now. It's just really hot. And so a lot of developers are trying to get on that train right now. I think it's also been the surge of indie developers that have really come on the last few years that are able to bring, you know, their ideas to the table a lot easier than before. So anyway, we're going to jump in. I'm going to show you guys my personal top 10 survival games that are due to come out this year or in 2025 or are hopefully really close to release. All right, first up is The Altars, and this one looks and just sounds really, really interesting. Basically, that you have a lot of different tasks you have to do. So you have to mine, you have to build a base, you have to try to survive, do all those things, but there's only one of you. And basically, you start cloning yourself. And you can clone different versions of yourself. One that's maybe good at one thing, one that's good at mining, one that's good at maybe resource management, something like that. But it goes a little further than that. It gets pretty weird. I haven't played it yet, of course, but just watching the trailers, this game looks so interesting. Whereas some survival games are more just about the survival aspect and no story, this one seems to be all in on the story, which is really cool if you're into that. I know a lot of people that play 7 Days to Die have always wanted a story. Well, this one is big on the story. Basically, what you're tasked with doing is piloting a hulking mobile laboratory shaped like a giant wheel. And you have to keep it moving, and to do that, you have to keep gathering resources, and to keep it moving so you don't burn up by the nearby sun. It basically takes a whole team of specialists to keep the base running, and the player, his name is Jan right now, that's his name, he's all by himself, so he's going to have to make more Jans, basically. And they're all birthed from different alternate realities that I believe you can create. Sounds really interesting. It just sounds like a meld of just some weirdness, but it sounds so cool, and I personally cannot wait to get my hands on this one. It will be releasing it sometime in 2024. We don't have a date, but it will be coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X, and then, of course, Windows and Steam. That's really cool. It's going to be available on console. I love the console survival games with stories. That's really awesome. Well, this next one is releasing in May, and we are almost at the end of May. It's releasing on May 31st, so it's just literally tomorrow if this video comes out when it's supposed to. SoulMask is a sandbox game that prioritizes an authentic survival experience. As the last one, blessed with a mysterious mask, players will grapple for survival in a primitive land steeped in mysterious faiths, carving out a path to ascendance. You start from nothing, you explore, you build, and you recruit tribesmen to fortify your clan. It sounds like a combination of maybe Medieval Dynasty and Tribe Primitive Builder, which was a really fun game, with a little bit of lore and some story also, which sounds really cool. SoulMask is being touted as an open-world survival and simulation game, and is releasing on May 31st, so far just on Steam. Don't know anything about consoles yet. Sorry, guys. Alright, this is one of my favorite universes of all time, the Terminator universe. Just from the old retro ones and then the revival of the movies in the last few years, they've all been really good, but there is a Terminator survival game basically going to be called Terminator Survivors. Now this can be solo or co-op, so it's a multiplayer game. Play as a group of survivors in this survival open world and return to the iconic Terminator universe set in the aftermath of Judgment Day. You are tasked with scouring the surrounding land for materials, information, and other survivors. So it's set 4 years after Judgment Day. So you basically leave this bunker, you come out, and you start scouring the land for materials, information, and other survivors, which are key resources in order to establish a base of operations for your fledgling group. And the enemies are the Skynet machines, of course. And they still have the same mission to completely eradicate humanity. You can explore a vast open world to discover the key materials and survivors you need to advance your home base, but never forget the fearsome and deadly Terminator is out there, hunting you and a constant threat. Frankly, I'm super excited for this game. It looks really cool. It will release on Steam on October 24th of this year to early access, and then console release on PlayStation and Xbox is expected in 2025. So put this on your wish list, and let's really hope this thing does come to consoles. I tell you what we could really use is a good dinosaur survival game, right? Haven't we been promised that already and we haven't had one yet? Arc 2? Excuse me, I had a cough there. Well, in Ferocious, your adventure begins after a shipwreck in the uncharted waters of the Pacific Ocean, where you awaken on the shores of a deadly island. Your first priority is to locate your missing brother, but as you venture deeper, it becomes evident that you are not the only human being around. Mercenaries infest the land, and so there becomes a game of stealth, strategy, and survival, trying to get around these mercenaries. But that's not the only thing you have to deal with. It's grim enough with, trying to survive on a deserted Pacific island, and you have mercenaries, but now you gotta throw in dinosaurs. And then there's a little backstory that you'll start to unravel about where the dinosaurs came from, and maybe there's some evil ambitions going on with the island, but we'll just have to play the story to find that out, I think. The choice is yours. Engage in relentless combat, prioritizing brute violence, or study the wildlife to uncover the island's secrets and forge unlikely alliances in your quest for survival. Man, this sounds cool, guys. I'm super stoked for this one. And what's even better is it is planned to come to consoles. So we don't have a release date yet, but it's planned for PCs and consoles. And just sounds like just a lot of fun. Alright, next up is Light No Fire, and there's been a lot of hype around this game, and I think we were supposed to maybe have a release date by now announced, but we don't yet, so people are starting to get a little worried about it, that it's never going to come out, but looks really cool. The entire world is the size of Earth, and it's a truly open world with no boundaries at a scale never attempted before. That's what they claim. A massively varied and dense planet filled with immersive biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources to discover. Sort of like how 7 Days to Die and maybe Minecraft are, every mountain can be climbed, and you can dig down, go all the way down to the bottom, all the oceans can be explored. And I should also put out there, this is from the creators of No Man's Sky, so think on the cups of No Man's Sky, survival, building, exploring, all that great stuff. And the developer Hello Games says it wants to bring a depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. That's a pretty good description right there. We don't know if it's coming to consoles. It's going to be coming to PC first. No release date, but No Man's Sky went to PC first and came to consoles. So hopefully that this game will come to consoles. It looks beautiful. It looks stunning. And I love that you can explore this world and, you know, ride these beasts and do all this great stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. So put that on your wish list, guys. Okay, how about a survival game that has ducks? No, wait. Just hear me out. Imagine DayZ, Rust, or maybe even 7 Days to Die, but you're a duck. A persistent world survival game with PvP, PvE, crafting, base building, and hat-wearing ducks wielding weapons. This game looks like an actual survival game. It's just your ducks. And if you guys want to actually check out the playtest, my good buddy Steve 1945, actually got in on the playtest, so you can actually see some gameplay that he did. And some of the features that we've been able to see so far are base building, dive bombing enemies from the air, archery, resource gathering, and just a whole bunch more. You can still get on the playtest now if you go to the developer's website or just Google DuckSide. You can get on the playtest right now. The developer is also known for making another popular game, Hello Neighbor, and then also Graveyard Keeper. So this isn't their first game they've ever made. Hopefully this game comes to console. Hello Neighbor's on console, so this would be a really fun, kind of casual console game in my opinion. So hopefully it does come to that. We do not have a release date yet. It is TBA, but fingers crossed this one comes out soon, guys. Are you a big Valheim fan and want more? Or did maybe Valheim not quite tickle your fancy and you wanted more Medieval Dynasty or maybe some more Enshrouded in with it? Well, we might have a game for you guys now. Aska is coming out on June 30th of this year. It is a multiplayer. It's co-op, so you can play with up to 3 friends. You lay claim to unspoiled lands and pave the way for a fierce Viking tribe. You get to command villagers, and you get to build your tribe up and divvy out tasks like hunting resources, building, gathering resources, that kind of stuff. And then each villager can be assigned a particular job. You can construct housing, workshops, mines, farms, defenses, and more as you expand your village. You can discover hidden caves and explore further to harvest more valuable resources. There's a dynamic weather system across the world with survival priorities shifting in turn with the season. So as the seasons change, your survival priorities will change also. And there's also a variety of mythical enemies in skill-based combat. This game sounds like a blast, especially if like the Enshrouded or the Valheim is, if you guys are a big fan of those games, this will be right up your alley. So far, all we know is it's only releasing to Steam, PCs, but hopefully it does come out to consoles. Really hopeful, because Valheim is, you know, on Xbox Game Pass, so it'd be really cool if this game was on Game Pass or, you know, for the PS5 guys out there. So hopefully it does come to consoles. Alright, this one's been in development for a long time, and I really haven't included it on my top 10 list because I thought it was going to be one of those games that just kept getting hype but would never get released or, you know, something like that. But S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chornobyl, finally has a release date, September 5th of 2024, and it's the follow-up to the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R that was on, you know, PS4 and Xbox One. Game looks amazing, and they've added a metric butt ton of more enemies and guns and all kinds of stuff, and there's gonna be warring factions, a whole bunch of different anomalies that are gonna make the game just that much more interesting, and replayability will go up really high, if I can say that right. It will launch without multiplayer, so it'll be single player only, and then eventually they're gonna release a multiplayer patch to the game. It is gonna be on Xbox Game Pass on release for Xbox, you know, Series X and S. It'll also be on PC. It will not be on PlayStation, unfortunately, because it kind of sucks because the original game was a big hit on PS4, but they're leaving out PlayStation right now. Hopefully once Microsoft and Sony get their stuff over with and, you know, Microsoft is okay with releasing all their games on Sony, not that this is a Microsoft game, it's just on Game Pass, but hopefully this will come to PlayStation. This looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a beautiful game too. One of the more beautiful games we'll have in the recent memory. You know what I was thinking when I was, building this list of games is, what we haven't had in a long time is a good pirate survival game. Have we ever had a pirate survival game that you know of? I know we had Sea of Thieves. We've had the Assassin's Creed pirate game. Have we ever had a pirate survival game? If we have, let me know in the comments. I really don't know. But Forgotten Seas, it's hopefully going to scratch that itch that we've all been waiting for. Is that pirate kind of survivalist. Craft your ship in a bottle, then experience survival on the high seas. Sail for new land, build camps, hunt for treasures, trade for goods, and then defend your ship from dreaded pirates stalking this realm. So even when your ship is like loaded with food, tools, and weapons, it can literally be fit into a bottle. So your ship just fits into a nice bottle, and then you can like throw it into the ocean, and then it'll expand. So that's kind of cool. I think that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that in a game before. And there's even on the description, it even talks about being able to customize different ships for different occasions. So maybe you have an exploring building ship, and then maybe you have a warring ship or something like that. It will have online co-op, so you can play with your friends. It also has the single player function. Now, as far as I can tell, it's just releasing on early access on June 7th, so really just about a week away. I don't see anything about consoles, but hopefully once they get early access done, they will port this to consoles, because this would be a really cool crossplay type of game. I've had so much fun in Sea of Thieves over the years, but I've always wanted Sea of Thieves to be just maybe a little more on the survival-esque, like, just a little more challenging on the survival part. So maybe this will do it for us. I don't know, but hopefully it does come to consoles soon. Like I said, it does release on June 7th and early access on Steam. Rise from survival to dominance on the most dangerous planet in the universe. Dune Awakening combines the grit and creativity of a sandbox survival game with the social interaction of a large, persistent multiplayer game to create a unique and ambitious open-world survival MMO. Now, me personally, I've always been a big fan of the Dune universe. I was a big fan like the early 90s. One of my favorite Sega Genesis games of all time was Dune Battle for Arrakis, and it was kind of like a Command and Conquer game, but it got me into the lore of the game, and then I started watching the movies and stuff, and I'm a big fan of Dune, and now the Dune universe is, coming out with a survival game, which I think is really cool, and it's also an MMO, so massive multiplayer game / survival / RPG. It's just a whole bunch of stuff going into it. We do know so far that it will launch to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, so it will be a console game, crossplay and all that great stuff. We don't know a release date yet, though. So this was announced. The announcement trailer came out about a year ago. We don't have a release date yet. Hopefully, they're just working on that, but we don't have a release date yet. I really hope it comes out this year. It would be a really fun game to play with a bunch of your friends and stuff like that. It sounds like it, at least. We do know that the survival aspects will be, you have to search for water, you have to search for shelter, you have to walk softly on the sand to avoid the sandworm. And in addition to that, you're going to have 1,000 other plays you're going to worry about. So I don't know if there's going to be like a hunger bar. Probably just going to have to worry about thirst, I'm guessing, since you are going to be in the desert. But there is going to be a little survival aspect to this game. Another really cool thing about this is it's being developed by Funcom, who has been known to develop Conan Exiles, which is probably one of the better survival games out there. It's been supported for a long time. They keep coming out with different updates to the game, and it's a great survival game. It's been out there for a long time, and it's always been ranked as one of the better survival games out there. So being developed by Funcom is really cool. Anyway, I hope we get a release date soon for this game. It looks exciting. I'm excited because it combines Conan with, one of my favorite universes, Dune, and hopefully we'll be playing this game sooner than later. Well, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. There's my top 10 upcoming survival games. There are a few others out there that I didn't cover. If I missed any, please let me know what you're really looking forward to as far as survival genre, crafting, open world survival craft, whatever that is. If there's a certain game I missed that you wanted added, please let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about these games on this list? Any of them that you're really excited for? Any of them that you like, meh, I'm not really excited for? Any of them you think are not going to come out at all? They're just going to be one of those teasers? Or will any of these be like dead matter? A big hype, everybody's excited for it, and then it comes out and it's just a massive disappointment. So please let me know in the comments, guys, and I'll catch you guys out there. See you later. Bye.